Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of X-Men Classics. It's me, Phil, of course, Justin, wait a minute, okay, I can't make a name out of that. Alright, Justin the Owl, and of course, I told you we're going to have a special guest. We have one half of the Real Housewives of Alaska, Dianne, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me, this will be fun.
See, Dianne, you compare yourself to your sister. You come off as the normal one, so.
You just don't see me at my best, Phil.
I know. I said in comparison. One of the two stars of the newest Capes and Lunatics show that we stole from Rob Southgate, yes.
Right. I think we're going to talk about the Brat Pack movie next.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah,
because a documentary about the Brat Pack.
Nice. Because I know, the first episode you did for us was the Stormy Daniels documentary. Yeah.
Who could have timed that any better?
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
I know. That was like, I know. By the time that went up, that was like what? That was like 2 days after the verdict or something. Yeah. It was weird.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yes, kids, if you do go to listen to that, that is marked explicit. So.
Oh, you mean I can't swear tonight?
I mean, if one or two leaks out, I mean, okay, we'll do the Lilith Hellfire roll. Yeah, if one or two, yeah.
Okay, I'll be more careful. I'll be more mindful.
She's the I don't know, the more mannered sister. No.
Just barely.
Yeah, well. Again, the bride of Lilith Hellfire. All right. All right, so should we get to these issues? I know, Dianne, you said it's been a while since you read X-Men, so.
I was telling the guys before we signed on that it has been since high school, and that is well over 30 years. So, yeah, it's been a while.
Do you remember the last, story or stories that you left off reading?
I don't. The stuff that really sticks in my head is the massacres of the mutants and the whole Nimrod.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that really sticks, but I don't know if that's where I dropped off. And of course, I read some X Factor.
Nice.
Yeah, but it really has been a while.
Yeah. Yep. Don't feel bad, though. It's been about as long for me because I think it was about 94, 95 was when I kind of bailed off the X-Wagon.
We're talking 87, 88.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Might have been the massacre, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
All righty.
Nice.
But yeah, we're talking some Wolverine and Deadpool this time. I wonder why.
Timely.
Yes. All right, so 3 issues. I figure we'll take these in order. I think they were published, so... Yeah, we could start with Wolverine 88. This one is December 1994. It's the Deadpool, folks. Writer Larry Hama, the miraculous Larry Hama, who, if you didn't know, started writing G.I. Joe comics at Marvel in 1982. Still writing G.I. Joe to this day.
Oh my god.
He's over 300 issues, yes.
300 some odd issues later. That's amazing. Yeah,
so he's like truly Wolverine's age, right?
I mean, he's an older man, so yeah.
And he's the best there is at what he does.
Pencilers Adam Kubert and Fabio Laguna, inker Mark Farmer, Tim Townsend, colorist Marie Javins, letterer Pat Rousseau, and editor Bob Harris. Oh man, that's quite the synopsis here. All right. As a favor to James Hudson, Wolverine travels to California to check on James's friend Garrison Kane, the mercenary who now calls himself Weapon X. Finding the apartment he shares with Copycat and Shambles, Logan changes into his Wolverine costume and goes inside. There he finds that Deadpool has trashed the place, having come to try and get his ex-girlfriend Vanessa back. This leads to a clash between the two, and Logan finds that Deadpool was a hard opponent to wound due to his own healing factor. Deadpool, having heard of the difficulties that Wolverine has had with his, impales Logan on 2 of his swords and leaves him for dead. Seeing a poster for the Grand Gugol Theater, Deadpool realizes where Weapon X and Copycat have gone and leaves the scene. Sure enough, Kane and Carlisle have joined up with the theater group in order to try and establish a normal life after their ordeals with the Weapon X program. Kane finds the life of acting difficult, and when the other actors and the directors go on break, Vanessa takes the time to give him some coaching. When Kane suddenly shouts out...
That's what they call it.
Oh, yeah. Coaching.
Here
Yeah.
we go. Buckle up.
Coaching, yes. When Kane suddenly shuts out in a perfect shock surprise, Vanessa realizes he wasn't acting, but reacting to the arrival of Deadpool. Back at Kane's home, Wolverine regains consciousness and realizes that his healing factor appears to be returning to its old strength and begins to heal him up quicker. Smashing his face into the framed poster, Logan realizes where Deadpool's gone, and grabbing a robe, he takes a ride in a taxi to get there. As Kane and Vanessa defend themselves from the deranged Deadpool, Wolverine is surprised how quickly he is healing. When the brakes on the cab fail, he smashes out and uses one of the passenger doors as a makeshift skateboard to ride him into the theater. He arrives just as Vanessa and Kane have been downed by Deadpool. Deadpool then tosses one of his swords at each of them, daring Kane to decide which one to go after. The one for going for him or the one going for his love. Kane blocks the one aimed at him just as Logan arrives and shields Vanessa from the one meant for her. Outnumbered, Deadpool decides to flee the scene and drops down a flash grenade and makes a clean getaway. Later, as Logan mounts his motorcycle to head home, he wishes the two lovers luck on forging a new life, being able to relate to their situation. When Vanessa questions why Kane saved himself instead of coming to her aid, Wolverine explains that if he didn't act for himself first, the sword that was aimed for him would have impaled him through the skull, killing him and leaving her helpless to Deadpool. When she mentions that she was saved by Wolverine's timely arrival, he agrees but suggests that she think about what would have happened if he had gotten a cab with good brakes. Logan parts on this word, leaving Vanessa to consider the situation. Alright, Dianne, I don't know if you were confused, but yeah, Wolverine's healing factor was weird for a while because Magneto ripped the adamantium out of him.
I remember that from the movies.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
for me, that was a callback to the films.
Okay, but yes.
Nice.
And I did see just recently, this issue is like, the value of this issue is starting to skyrocket the price because this was the first time Deadpool and Wolverine interacted in the comics.
Oh, really? Never.
Yeah.
I think they even showed on... So I got mine on my Kindle, on my ancient crotchety, crickety Kindle, which was really fun, let me tell you. Although it was easier than trying to read them on my phone.
Yeah.
And I think even on Kindle, they're actually re-releasing this and charging for it. It's in the Kindle Unlimited store right now.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Oh, yeah, because everyone's probably going to try to read it now. Yeah, for that movie, yeah. But yeah,
That's so funny.
I just wonder how much it's going for now because, again, someone shows up in a movie or somebody's interact, then all of a sudden prices. Yeah. This is probably sitting in the dollar bin for the last 30 years, but now,
Right.
2 months ago, it started going up in price.
This one and the Deadpool issue that we're going to cover as well, probably both of them sat side by side in the dollar bin.
A little bit
decades.
dusty.
Yes.
Tape on the back of the cellophane yellowing.
Hadn't been touched in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm doing a quick eBay search. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing the first two are like almost $50.
Wow.
Oh, here's one for $79.99. Okay.
Oh, my word. That's so funny.
Oh, they have a reprint for like $9, but looks like it has a foil cover and stuff, but it must be a recent reprint. Yeah. Yeah, the reprints are cheap, but yeah, the actual original issue, yeah, you're going anywhere from like $50 to there's a $100 one. Oh my lord. Yeah. Oh. So, one that's graded 9.2 is going for $199.
Oh, that's absurd.
It's graded.
That's absurd.
So.
Dang.
Yeah. That's like anymore. If I buy old ones, I'm like, if I'm trying to decide which to buy, I'm like, who has the better chance of appearing in a movie in the next couple years?
Trying to do some clairvoyancy there, yeah.
So I gotta ask you guys, when did Deadpool and Wolverine first start having their bromance? Is this when they first started to have conflict, or? I mean,
this is the first issue they actually interacted with each other. This one right here, so.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, they come in contact every so often, but I don't think it was like a regular thing, right, Justin? It's not.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah,
I know. I
think they've developed it more in recent years.
Yeah,
haven't they?
Yeah, they've been trying to pair Deadpool off with a bunch of people. Because a couple of years ago, they did like a series. It was like a Deadpool and Spider-Man. They were trying to pair him off with Spider-Man for a while in the comics. Yeah,
yeah, and there was some really good Deadpool and Wolverine interactions when there was that uncanny X-Force series, where Wolverine and Deadpool were together on the same team, and they had some great moments together in that. That was Rick Remender, wasn't it, Phil?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
like a later
an
X-Force
excellent series. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They actually make sense as a pairing with both of them with their healing powers, you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's like kind of like opposites and stuff, because, you know, Wolverine is such a great straight man for Deadpool, and
the personalities are so opposite, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's just like now, of course, it's all based on Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, but
right,
yeah, right.
Oh my lord! So
another question.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to ask the question. Sorry. So another question.
Fine,
we never got in either Deadpool movie that Vanessa was a kind of superhero, right?
Yeah, no, she didn't have any shape shifting as far as we know. You know.
Okay, I didn't think so, because that surprised me reading this.
Yeah, that is, definitely. To somebody that only is familiar with the movie version, you're like, wait a minute, Vanessa's Copycat? Like, who's Copycat?
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that was revealed, Phil, in the first Deadpool miniseries, right? That Vanessa was Copycat?
Maybe. Well, I mean, wasn't she? I mean, when they started X-Force, wasn't she masquerading as Domino for a while?
Yes, she was Domino. Yes, so. That's right. So, yeah, that's a whole confusing thing with that. Yeah.
But, Diane, I assume you watched the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer?
I did, yeah. I'm actually going to be able to drag the power lifter to that one.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you're getting remarried here soon. I mean, you better start honing those wife skills again. Come on.
Actually.
Oh, nice.
It's the big shindig in July. So
okay.
We already did the thing. So
nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so now, Justin, you're gonna have to marry your man, because it's like, I know there's no hope for Lilith at all. She don't want it. It's never gonna happen. She just uses and abuses young 20-some-year-old men in Florida for one night at a time. It's not gonna happen.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
nothing wrong with that at all.
But no, I think they put out I think they just what.
As long as they're both happy.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, as long as people leave her alone, Lilith is happy as anything. But no, I was going to say, I think they just put out the last Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, and like they popped open that big Ant-Man helmet, and you see the skull in there. And my favorite line, Ryan Reynolds goes, "Oh, Paul Rudd finally aged."
That's good stuff. I love it. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, Justin, thoughts on this Wolverine 88?
This was pretty good. Like, I was confused though about like kind of where all these characters were at this point in time. It took me a while to remember, like with Wolverine's healing factor again being on the blink. Like we just talked about another story, the Extinction Agenda from 1990, where again Wolverine's healing factor was on the blink.
Well, I told you, I think Chris Claremont loved to do that, like every 2 to 3 years. Oh, Wolverine's healing factor's on the blink.
Yeah, but I had totally forgotten that this was his first interaction, his first real interaction with Deadpool. I'd forgotten. It was good. The artwork was very like 1994.
Yeah.
It was very 90s. Yeah. But it was good. It was an entertaining story.
Well, yeah, it was Andy. It's Adam Kubert, and then that Fabio Laguna, who I wasn't familiar with. So
I
kind of
recognize that name either. Yeah,
it's probably a little extra weird because usually the Kuberts don't have another artist with them.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, should we get to the Deadpool issue?
Yes.
Yeah, some Dr. Bong impersonator didn't send me feedback for this issue. You need to yell at him, Justin.
Yes, he's had a busy week.
Yes, Russell, I'm talking about you.
He's had a busy week. Hopefully on the next Dr. Bong story we'll get him on all that.
Damn hillbilly. Anyway,
about the name Dr. Bong. I mean, I know where my brain went.
Oh, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
I mean,
if you read some of his original stories too from the Howard the Duck comics from the 70s, you'll realize that there's definitely some bongs that went into the making of that stuff.
Yeah,
of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, no doubt.
I refuse to believe that Steve Gerber didn't do drugs. I don't believe it. People can tell me that all day long, and I won't believe it.
Well, Dianne, wait till you see the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, because the villain is Cassandra Nova, who's created by Grant Morrison, who, I mean, it's going on record. I mean, he does, like, weaponized drugs. I mean, he's done the ayahuasca and all of it, so it's, yeah.
Weaponized drugs.
Yeah.
You know, the hard stuff, you know, you're like, you know, on a different spiritual plane while you're crapping your pants, you know. It's
right.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to explain to Diane about Cassandra Nova, too.
Oh, jeez.
Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Because I see Cassandra Nova equals Stewie Griffith.
Evil, so. Yeah. So, well, she's the evil, like, twin sister of Professor X, who, like, tried to murder him while they were still in the womb.
In the womb.
Okay.
In the womb. There's this whole sequence where they're fighting each other in the womb. It is bonkers.
That poor pregnant woman.
As I said, the
worst day of her life, probably.
As I said, Grant Morrison, her creator,
Grant Morrison.
Lots of hardcore drugs, yes.
Yeah. Oh, God. But, yeah, the first time I saw Cassandra Nova, like a picture of her, I said, "Oh my God, that's Stewie Griffin."
Oh my God, I gotta find a picture. Yeah, I know, because she got the bald head and everything.
Oh
so
God.
The big, like, wide bald head and the little ears, and like, I'm telling you, it is the funniest shit. Oh my God. I cracked up. I was like, "Are you serious?" And then I found out who created her, Grant Morrison, and I started laughing even harder. I was like, "Oh, doesn't that just figure?"
Well, yeah, Mr. Grant Morrison. Oh, we're stuck in another dimension where light only travels 22 miles an hour. Yeah, that Grant Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let's see. There's Cassandra Nova.
Right there. Yes.
Oh yeah.
See? Can you see the Stewie Griffin? Yes.
Yeah. Damn you, vile woman. You can almost hear her saying it. Damn you, vile woman.
The day I exit your wretched womb. So anyway, speaking of bongs,
yes.
All right. Let's pulling up the issue on the app here. Yeah, I love how I have this issue, but I'm just too lazy to go get it. So reading it on the Marvel app. All right. Deadpool Volume 3, number 27, from April 1999. It's a barbarian bunny, busty broad bonanza in my brain pan, and I'm the only one invited. Yeah, this one's gonna be very confusing because this was like in the middle of like a arc here. Yeah,
it's all over the place.
Writer Joe Kelly, I love his Deadpool run here. Penciler Walter McDaniel, inker Whitney McFarlane, colorist Kevin Summers, and letterer Richard Starking's Comics Craft. Deadpool is in another therapy session with Dr. Bong, trying to get to the root of why he's been seeing hallucinations of a woman and a bunch of cartoon rabbits constantly. Dr. Bong realizes that Deadpool needs to work off his aggression and relieve the hallucinations, something he's only ever been able to do when he's fighting with other superhuman individuals. Deadpool heads to Bolivia to speak with his friend Montgomery and reaches the same conclusion. Deadpool tries to think of a hero who has the skills and endurance to last in a fight with him and decides to fight Wolverine. The next day, Deadpool and his pilot, Ilani Brunker, fly to Japan, and Deadpool disguises himself to blend in with the locals. Dr. Bong accompanies them and notes Deadpool's hostile attitude. Deadpool disguises himself as a street peddler and finds Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. But Wolverine sees through his disguise and tells him to get lost. Deadpool loses it and grabs Wolverine's hand, commanding the mutant to stab him with his claws. When Wolverine doesn't comply, he clobbers Kitty, enraging the mutant. Meanwhile, in his home, Alistair Grunch receives a mysterious letter and a shot by what's inside. It has nothing to do with this. All right, back in Japan, Wolverine savagely attacks Deadpool, and their fight takes them across several rooftops, and Deadpool makes jokes about the X-Men. He dodges Wolverine's claws and manages to stab him in the side. In the street, Kitty regains consciousness, and Dr. Bong introduces himself to her. Wolverine tackles Deadpool through a store window and manages to stab Deadpool with one of his claws. Deadpool opens fire with his guns and hits a man in the street, which turns out to be the man Wolverine and Kitty were there to meet. He's an old friend of Logan's named Black Crane. Black Crane dies in Wolverine's arms from the gunshot, and this throws Wolverine into a frenzy. He lashes out at Deadpool, kicking and slashing, but Deadpool hallucinates and sees the woman and the rabbits again. Dr. Bong incapacitates Kitty so she can't help, and Deadpool and cheers the mercenary on to resolve his issues. Wolverine slashes Deadpool across the face, and he takes out one of his katanas and tries to cut Wolverine. They continue to brawl through the street, but Deadpool stops as he has recognized who the woman he has been hallucinating about is. He's caught off guard, and Wolverine gets the drop on him and impales him both with both his claws. Dr. Bong teleports himself and Deadpool and Ilani back to his office and questions Deadpool about the woman. Deadpool says that she was just a woman who stole his heart and died a long time ago, and then he passes out. Then in Atlanta, the woman from Deadpool's hallucination, Mercedes Wilson, runs through the streets at night and accidentally drops a locket on the ground. Inside the locket is a picture of her with Wade Wilson. Oh, God, that reminded me what this was all about. They later did a story where it's like Deadpool wasn't actually Wade Wilson, but he had killed the actual Wade Wilson. But then that guy came back as a villain, then they kind of retconned that all away. But
yeah, I'm glad they fixed that because that's terrible.
It's too effing confusing. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Deadpool is like extra crazy in this because like in the arc before, like in the first 25 issues, this intergalactic company comes to him and says, oh yeah, you're like destined to like help bring world peace because this like cosmic messiah is coming to Earth. So Deadpool's all happy about it. He's like, oh, I'm going to be a hero and all this. Yeah, finds out, world peace is going to come about because the alien is going to basically turn the whole planet into like brain dead zombies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Taking over the planet. Okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, why do I got to make this decision? It's either like, you let everyone's brain get sucked out or, make it so there's no world peace. And then he's like, he sees Captain America. He's like, oh, you can make this decision. But meanwhile, Captain America's already taken over. So in true Deadpool fashion, he kicks Captain America in the nuts. And then he does.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so that's why he's nuts. Because, he basically robbed the world of world peace. But although no one would have had free will. But So yes, the Cosmic Messiah, is a Republican. All right, so like I said, this one might have been very confusing. So thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one was confusing. Yeah, it was. I remember reading this back when me and Russell did an episode of Tomes of Evil on Dr. Bong.
Oh yeah,
we did a character spotlight on him. So we went back and reread this one. I remember being equally confused back then. Just because I hadn't read this series and I had no clue what was going on before or after this issue. But I thought that the addition of Dr. Bong was interesting, and it kind of fit for Deadpool because he's a zany, weird, wild, wacky character like Dr. Bong is and like Howard the Duck is. But yeah, some of the art too was very kind of strange.
Oh yeah, it's 1999.
Yeah.
I actually liked this art better than I liked the art in the other two.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
We will get to the next one, but
Yeah.
the next one, the art and the storyline just didn't hold up for me very well. So
yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I like how there's a sequence in this one where, in the one we just covered, there was that scene where Deadpool impales Wolverine with his swords, and he's got him up above his head. And then this issue, we get the reverse of that. Wolverine's doing that to Deadpool, but Deadpool, of course, has this manic, wide grin on his face the whole time.
Yes, I had a breakthrough.
I think that was my favorite part of the issue. So good.
And I think it's just in this arc what Joe Kelly did where Bong is like actually like a trying to be a psychiatrist or whatever. Because like in those Howard the Duck issues, Justin, wasn't he like more like a mad scientist or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. He had no psychological aspirations whatsoever. Yeah.
That's what threw Russell. That's why I didn't send the
Yeah, it is a very different interpretation of Dr. Bong, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know it's very stylized, but yeah, like Diane, I kind of like the art in these. I like this whole run, the whole Joe Kelly run. So
going back to the last issue, I kind of cracked up the scene or the metamorph or Vanessa or whatever we're calling her. She's like, all buffed up, and basically she's all buffed up with these ginormous breasts, and I was like, oh, that's right. Comic books were very not so subtly pornographic when I was reading them in high school.
Oh yeah, especially in the mid 90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All of the women look like powerlifters with breast implants.
And little stick waists too, little titty.
Yes, yeah.
Tiny little waists. Yeah.
Oh yeah, some of them are just
so funny.
Yeah. You know where I'm going, Justin. The worst offender, Jim Ballant in 1990.
Oh yes, Jim Ballant, the king of the double D cups.
The 1993 Catwoman series. Yeah. Oh. I mean, her breasts were about as big as her head. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Vanessa's weren't quite as bad in the first issue that we're talking about, but they were. Yeah. There were a couple of screens there where,
they were in charge. They were largely in charge.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like half these characters, it's like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be like these acrobatic, 20 flips through the air, but yeah, meanwhile, yeah. They got a G cup, and it's like, okay,
right.
Yeah.
I actually did like it. I thought that the portrayal of Vanessa in this, she looked much more like a normal human woman. So
definitely.
Yeah. So thoughts on this besides the confusion?
I liked it. Yeah. What did you think, Diane?
Yeah, I like this one too. I think of the three that we read, it was my favorite.
Oh,
nice. Very nice.
I'm glad that the stuff the guy getting the letter wasn't even related to this particularly, because that scene was kind of plunked in there. So that was it was helpful to hear that didn't really relate.
Yeah, no, it was for stuff after the facts, or like in another issue. So.
Oh, and I've got to say, so it having been so long since I had looked at any X-Men, that did not look like Kitty Pryde at all to me.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh, the Kitty Pryde I have in my head is like Shadowcat from the 80s. So.
With the blue outfit, right? Yeah, with the blue outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was very surprised in this when I saw her. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not. It really took them having to specifically say who she was for me to really be like, oh, that's Kitty?
Yeah. It's almost like at some point in the early 90s, they just kind of aged her up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
From being like 19 or 20 to like almost 30. Like she.
Yes.
It's so weird how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another weird comics thing where it's like, younger characters seem to age up, but like the other characters don't, like the older characters don't seem to age.
Like Aunt May. And...
Aunt May's going in reverse, okay? Never thought we'd get a Marissa Tomei Aunt May. No.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right. So should we get to the last one?
Sure.
Gonna say, then we can talk just random nonsense. All right. Wolverine annual, the 1999 annual Crying Wolf. Writer Mark Andreyko, penciler Walter McDaniel again. All right. Inker Walden Wong, Scott Kobelesh, colorist Gina Going, letterer Mike Hessler, and Revenge Graphics, and editor Mark Powers. In the year 1760, a young man runs through the woods. He is pursued by a hulking werewolf, which finally catches up with him. The wolf grabs him and tosses him off of a cliff into the sea below and howls at the sky. This is actually a story being told by a young author, Duncan Vess, who is selling his new werewolf book to his adoring fans. Wolverine is there begrudgingly getting a book signed for Kitty Pryde, who likes the author. Wolverine gets the book signed, but the author gets spooked by Wolverine and leaves in a hurry. Wolverine walks out of the bookstore and is surprised when he picks up a familiar scent. Excitedly, he dons his costume and climbs up to the roof. Meanwhile, on the rooftops, the mercenary known as Deadpool trails Duncan to his home, apparently having been hired to kill the man. Duncan goes into his home, afraid that Wolverine may be a werewolf. He locks his doors and windows, but is quite scared to find a werewolf inside his house, and the wolf knows his name. Elsewhere, Deadpool continues to watch the house. When he is suddenly beaten over the head, he falls over the side of the building but catches himself on the ledge. He looks up and is surprised to find that his attacker is Wolverine, who had hit him with a metal pipe. Deadpool swings back onto the roof, kicking Wolverine in the face. Wolverine continues to beat him mercilessly with the pipe, exclaiming that this is his revenge for when he punched Kitty during their last fight, which we just talked about. Wolverine drops the pipe, and Deadpool gets scared when Wolverine pops his claws. He tackles Wolverine, and the two crash through the skylight of Duncan's home and land inside. Deadpool throws one of his katanas, and the katana goes through Wolverine's arm and pins him to the wall. Deadpool is suddenly grabbed from behind by a werewolf, and it throws him across the room. Wolverine frees himself from Deadpool's sword and lashes out at the beast. He is surprised when Deadpool's sword doesn't kill the wolf, as it's silver, but Deadpool says that it's actually chrome, as chrome is cheaper, and looks just as cool. The two make a break for it and lock themselves in another room. They run into Duncan, who explains what's going on. Duncan explains that he was a werewolf a long time ago, but he abandoned his heritage to live as a human. He thought he had been forgotten by the other werewolves, but he was wrong. He informs the two that he can't turn into a werewolf and help them, and just then the other werewolf breaks down the door. Wolverine tells Deadpool that they can take the wolf, but the wolf asks if Duncan has any fight in him. Wolverine gets in front of Duncan, and the werewolf smashes the door, sending Wolverine careening backwards. Deadpool distracts it, and Wolverine grabs its foot, and the two fall through the door. They land in the wine cellar, and Wolverine impales the wolf with his claws. It exclaims that it didn't come there to fight them, but Wolverine ignores this and continues to fight. Upstairs, Deadpool takes the opportunity to try and kill Duncan, but Wolverine and the werewolf crash back up through the floor, still fighting. The wolf knocks Wolverine back and approaches Duncan, who calls the wolf by his name, Lycus. Deadpool defends Duncan, but Lycus punches him away too. Suddenly, the Council of Werewolves appears and explains to Lycus that they had hired Deadpool to kill Duncan so that Duncan's death would look like a human crime and no more attention would be brought to them. They exclaim that Lycus has broken their laws, and they turn him into a normal wolf. They try to take Duncan, but Wolverine stops them, and they leave with Lycus, warning Duncan to leave and go far away. Deadpool asks about his money, but they leave, and he gets annoyed. Duncan says that he must go to some remote place, and he leaves. Deadpool asks Wolverine if they're even, and Wolverine punches him in the face. He then helps Deadpool up and says they are even now. The two leave together to go buy a couple beers. Yeah, sorry about the rough reading. Some of these synopses sometimes online aren't spelled the best or have all the words.
The sentence structure is weird, yeah.
Or sometimes they just ignore punctuation.
Man, woman, television.
How dare this free thing on the internet fail me?
How dare they?
Yes. So thoughts on this? I thought I had read this before. I don't think I had read this before we read for this.
Yeah, I hadn't read this either. Yeah, what did you think of this one, Diane?
This one was kind of meh. I mean, compared to the other two, I enjoyed the other two. I really felt like the Deadpool one, even though it wasn't sweary, captured the kind of snarky Wade Wilson that we know from the films.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I didn't think it was written all that wonderfully well, and I thought, is this... And that was the first one of the three that I read, and I thought, oh my god, is this what I read all the years ago? Oh. And I enjoyed it so much, and I'm going back to go.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was an annual too. Sometimes annuals are just fill-ins by like different people too, so it's just like
kind of one-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the story was kind of like a self-contained one-off story.
Yeah. I found myself kind of wondering for a while there if I was missing something and if the werewolf that was after Vess wasn't actually Sabretooth, and that's who Wolverine thought that he was recognizing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a little confusing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did the werewolf thing. I was like, wait, this was '99. I was like, was there like some big was there a big werewolf thing in '99, like a movie or something? I didn't.
Not that I remember, but
so.
I don't think they had been used very much in the comic books at that point. So maybe that's why, just because they hadn't been seen very much.
Because I don't know, I just thought it might have just been better if the guy had just been a regular writer and someone hired Deadpool to kill him, and just
right.
Yeah, the whole werewolf thing kind of
without having the werewolf thing.
Yeah, I was like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And the council, at the end were pretty funny.
The council, yeah, and then they just kind of walk away at the end with all this weird mist surrounding them. We'll be back. We'll be keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole werewolf thing was weird to me. Because I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, because he was an author in the beginning. I was like, is this supposed to be like a Twilight thing? I was like, well, those movies hadn't been out yet. So I was like,
right. Yeah.
I was like, were those books out or anything? But yeah, it wasn't like the movies or anything.
I think.
Yeah, no, they weren't out at that point.
Mm-mm.
I think there was that movie. The most recent werewolf thing up to that point, I think, was that movie with Jack Nicholson as the werewolf. Do you remember that?
Oh, was that Wolf or whatever?
Yes. Oh my god, that movie makes me laugh so hard just thinking about it. Oh, I think that was the most recent thing up to that point for big werewolf stuff.
Maybe.
Am I glad I missed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever want a good laugh, though, definitely check that out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that most Jack Nicholson movies from like the late '80s, early '90s, which is him coked out of his mind and just running around on set? I mean, they pretty much confirmed that's how he did Joker in the Batman movie. It's just...
Yeah, but the scenes when he's jumping around with the wires and stuff, oh my god, it's hysterical with those wolf teeth. It is so funny. Yeah,
it's been forever since I watched that.
I know what Phil's going to do when we hang up.
He's going to go watch that, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that bored yet, but yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole werewolf thing in that went through me. I might have to go with Dianne. Just the Deadpool issue might have been my favorite, but like I said, it does help. I mean, I do like that Joe Kelly run, and I had read all the issues before it and after it, so it's more context for me, but so... Yeah. So what did you think, Justin? What was your favorite?
I liked, actually, there's a little backup story in this annual with just Wolverine in it, and I really liked the art in that one. That one was really kind of surprising.
The beer run.
Yeah, the beer run one, yeah. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great little story. But as far as the three main ones, I liked the Deadpool issue the best. Yeah, I like the story the best. There's the execution of the whole thing was the best, I think. In the Wolverine issue, I think they were still trying to figure out what they were going to do with the character. Like they were still clinging on to the mercenary stuff. They were still clinging on to the Vanessa stuff. And similar to this with the annual, like they were still really mining that whole mercenary stuff really hard with Deadpool. And I think they could have picked another mercenary for this story and it would have worked just as fine.
Yeah. And again, it's like Larry Hama in that Wolverine issue. I mean, he's a great writer, but I don't think like a character like Deadpool is like his cup of tea. Like he's usually, he wrote Wolverine for the longest time. Like we said, he's been writing G.I. Joe for like 40 years. I think he's more
40 years.
with the more serious characters. Oh yeah, he's great. But yeah, I don't think Deadpool's like his kind of character.
Yeah, didn't seem that way to me.
That's what I always think.
America, not Dr. Bong.
I mean, I always think that must be the hardest thing to like get right is writing Deadpool, because it's like you want to kind of have like a twisted sense of humor, but you don't want to go too far, or it's going to be like feel forced.
Getting that balance right,
yeah,
it's got to be tough. Yeah.
Although they called Ryan Reynolds casting like years before the fact, because I think there's one issue where he says, "I look like Ryan Reynolds crossed with a Shar-Pei or something."
Did they really? Oh, that is funny. I love that.
I mean, I don't know if there was talks for years, because I mean they did that too. Remember in that, what was that, that original Ultimate series where they were just like, Nick Fury had been white up to that point, and then in that universe they made they had Nick Fury look like Sam Jackson. So then that was before any of those movies.
Mm-hmm. So funny.
Kind of telling Hollywood, good, cast this guy.
Yeah. It'll be an amazing success.
Exactly. But no, I think Ryan Reynolds is like a good casting for Deadpool, because I think there's a lot of people who couldn't get that voice.
Yeah. It's one of those castings where you can't imagine another character doing it now.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of like with Wolverine. So it's an ideal
agreed.
Because they're both so iconic. I can't, like back when they were talking about like Daniel Radcliffe and Taron Egerton and all these people doing Wolverine, I was like, no, come on, just stop it.
Yeah, that's weird. You need like I think a guy looks like a certain age, because like, you can't. I know now they like to go younger, so these guys will last like 10, 15 years. But I don't think you cast a young Wolverine; it's not going to work.
No. If you're going to do an origin story, like a real origin story, and not the ones that we got,
He's always looked the same. He's always looked the same age. He was my favorite character when I was reading X-Men back in the day. So.
Oh yeah, he was so popular. That's how he got his own series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but Dianne, if you ever want to jump back in, they're renumbering like all the X-Men stuff this summer. So I mean, they're putting out new number ones all over the place. And
are they really?
Yeah.
And they look really good too.
A couple new X-Men books, a new Wolverine, a new X Factor, all of that.
New Dazzler,
yeah.
I got to figure out how I'm gonna access them, because just seriously, reading them on a phone is not tenable. My Kindle is so old that it just was not having me doing any serious rereads tonight while I was kind of trying to jam through. So, do I get an iPad? Do I get another Kindle? What do I do? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what probably the iPad might be your best bet. I was going to say, I know there's the actual, like, if you find a comic shop, there's shops that'll still, like, mail you, like, comics.
It's true. They'll mail, they'll ship them to your mailbox. Yeah.
That's what Will does. He gets all his shipped at the end of every month. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just send him a big box.
I don't have a lot of storage space.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me,
It's tough.
Yeah, but if you're going digital, I'd say an iPad, because I was trying to do a Kindle too for a while, and it was so I eventually just invested in another iPad.
Did that?
It had been years since I had an iPad. I was like, I'll get another one. Yeah, the iPad is actually good for reading comics. So I was going to say, if you get if you start reading comics let me know. I'll send you all the schedule. I'll send you all the schedules. You can come here. You can come talk whatever.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to totally actually read. Oh, God, I feel like all I do is go to the gym anymore. So I work and go to the gym. What a change, huh, Phil?
Oh, jeez. Well, again, you've gone from riding horses. Now you just go power lift at the gym.
I thought you were going to say something else, and I was going to be like, no.
Come on, I'm being good. Come on.
You can't tell that I'm like beet red right now.
See, I told you, you're the more calm housewife. You actually get embarrassed. I don't think you can embarrass your sister, can you? No.
I think there's some truth to that. Yeah.
I mean, you can say anything to her; she'll roll with it.
She's coming up for the wedding.
Of course, you better.
Yeah.
Nice. I was happy to hear you guys again. I was like, man, it's been so long. I was missing my Housewives episode.
She was really happy that it got suggested, so I'm really glad. I think we're gonna eventually try for 2 a month.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. It's hard to schedule between her schedule and mine. So
yeah, I heard. On that episode, you say she like kind of got another position at work or something, or
so she is now basically she took over the supervisory position.
Yeah.
Where she's working. So.
I mean, I'm not saying she's not smart, but oh Lord, Marnell in charge of anything. Oh Lord.
You know, she's pretty damn amazing. I think that kid could rule the world if she was in the right place.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, she's a genius. She's a genius, but she's an evil genius. Yeah.
Those are the best kind.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, Justin. Oh, we've got to get Marnell in here because yeah, she's another little hellfire. Although I'm kind of afraid of that. I mean, me and Dianne would be in the corner. Oh my God, Lilith, Justin, and Marnell on one show. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I'm telling you, it's gonna be. You think you've seen crazy? Get those.
You'd have to put the explicit banner on that.
Oh yeah.
You're not scaring me away from this, Phil. You're kind of selling me on.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be so fun. You're gonna wake up the next morning not remembering how you got there. Be like, what the heck?
Which means punch me in the face.
No, I just want to do it because didn't Marnell say, but you know, her wine glasses kept getting bigger and bigger. And now she's just going to be in a kiddie pool of wine or something.
She
With
did.
a hose. Yeah.
That was the joke. Every time they were with us, she kept getting a bigger wine glass.
Eventually, it was just like one of those planters.
Yeah, she had to like pick it up with 2 hands. She
Yeah.
had no choice.
And to put it into context, she's like 4'11".
Yeah, she's
So-
yeah. She's another tiny terror like Lilith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, Lilith and I, Lilith's coming up for the road trip with us. Yeah.
The road trip.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so much fun.
Introduce her to everyone as my kid sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now, Justin, where do you live in relation to Phil? Not to give anybody's secret locations away, but
I'm not
are you
too
guys
far. I'm
close
like,
together?
yeah, I'm about 3 hours away from Phil, I think.
Oh, is that all?
3 or 4 maybe?
He's up in the northeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up close to Canada. So I think about 4 or 5 hours maybe.
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm near Pittsburgh, but yeah, I thought I couldn't.
So my powerlifter is in Niagara Falls tonight. He's competing tomorrow in the national championship.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice. Very cool.
So somewhere up near Canada.
Very cool.
All right. So, anything else? I mean, Dianne, it was great having you. Again, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
it was
You're
super
welcome
fun.
anytime. So, I mean, if you want me to send you schedules and stuff, if you ever want to be like, oh, I want to talk that, or
I got to decide, am I keeping my Marvel Unlimited, number one? And number two, am I going to spring for an iPad just so I can read comic books? I got to decide what I'm going to do to access the comics.
Yeah.
Because really, have you guys tried reading it on a phone?
Oh,
yeah, I
yes,
won't do it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's only for emergencies.
My eyes are just too old.
I know that's like what was that? Was that last year? Yeah, my eyes started straining when I was reading. I went to the eye doctor, and he's like, yeah, that's normal. He's like, yeah, once you get in your 40s, yeah, stuff starts going in your eye. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Didn't you just want to say, just shut up?
As my eyes start going and my son keeps getting older and older, I'm just like, oh yeah, shut up.
So a couple of years ago, I was getting my eyes checked, and I was listening to the eye doctor dictate to her scribe. And of course, I recognize most of the language that she's speaking because Justin, I'm a nurse practitioner, so
nice.
I have some of the same language that the doctor does. And it's a lens. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? So finally, at the end of the exam, I call her out. I'm like, so what's that mean? And she's like, oh, you're starting to get cataracts.
Oh.
And I just
Oh,
I was floored.
Yeah.
Floored. I'm not that old yet.
Yeah. Oh,
I know.
Man, that's rough.
We know
Yeah,
the
I'm not
feeling.
looking forward to that. Yeah. Oh,
No, the eye changes are the worst, man. The vision changes
Yeah.
are the worst.
yeah. Mine are already really bad. I can't imagine them getting worse, but I know it's going to happen.
That's what I said a week or two ago. I had to explain to my son, my 11-year-old son, what a music CD was.
Oh my
Oh.
god, you're 11-year-old.
No.
Yeah, 11, Diane. Yeah, 11.
A CD.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've shown him a Blu-ray before, so I was kind of be like, yeah, it's kind of like a Bluray, but it's just for music. Yeah, it's just like...
Oh.
Did he believe you?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you still have one?
Oh, yeah, I still have CDs, yeah.
Okay, so you
I
can
mean,
show
I
him.
don't pull them out a lot, but yeah, I still have them, yeah.
You could be like, look at this artifact from the past. Little archaeology with Dad today.
I mean, again, these kids, that's what I said. It's just, it's like, oh, you had to actually put something in a machine that, get your
Yes.
content and
Right.
yeah.
Yes, and you could listen to an entire CD without any ads.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Well, again, I mean, he has PlayStation, so some of his games are on the those, they look like CDs. So it's kind of like, it
Oh.
looks just like that. But yeah, but some of those games, if you don't want to get those, you can just download them. So yeah, these.
Mm.
Welcome to the Old People's Podcast.
Damn, we're getting old.
well, we're talking about comics from the '90s. I would assume there's probably at least somebody listening to this who's going to be like, "Oh, I hear you."
Yeah. There should be several people of our vintage listening to this episode, I would imagine.
Well, that's what we always say, Diane. I'm like, any comic after that was like published after the year 2000, I always consider like the new stuff. But if it was published in 2000, it's like 24, 25 years old. I'm like, ugh.
I forget what I was listening. I was listening to. I was just listening to a news podcast on my way home from some stuff that I was doing before we got online, and they were talking about a case that happened in. Well, the woman's been in prison for nearly 34 years. She seduced one of her students and had him murder her husband for.
Oh my word! I remember that. Yeah.
And they were talking about that case, and I was like, let's see. That happened in 1989. What? 34 years ago? Oh my god.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah. Wow.
Again,
Yeah, so it's hard to believe.
yeah.
I don't
Time flies the older you
I don't
get.
feel as old as I am.
No, that's no. The age is just a number.
That's right. That's right.
Until you're sitting in the optometrist chair.
What do you need? I need glasses.
And the dentist chair. I found too. That's a reflection of my age. Is
yeah.
going to the dentist. Oh,
Definitely.
bad stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or the day I was just like, wait a minute, I'm not a teenager anymore. I can't eat as much as I want, and it won't put any
that
weight
too.
on. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't have all those midnight snacks anymore.
I'm actually counting my calories. What?
Ew.
All right. So, anything else?
No, I think we
All right.
covered all the issues. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, Diane, once again, thank you for joining us. Is there anything you want to promote? Is there anything you want to promote? Real Housewives right here on Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Yes, please give us a listen. So we're definitely going to be in the Real Housewives feed, in the Capes and Lunatics feed for at least one opportunity every month, maybe two, and not just doing documentaries. Although it looks like the next one is going to be a documentary as well. So
Very cool.
Hey, I mean, it would be weird, but it's like on Real Housewives. You're gonna maybe do the last season of Walking Dead because you guys used to talk Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
I finally watched it. I finally finished it. And I'm glad that I did. I'm really glad that I did.
Did you watch any of those spin-offs like the Daryl show or?
I haven't watched the Daryl show yet. I watched The Ones Who Live and that was what caused me to finally decide to sit down and finish the actual series. And The Ones Who Live was really good. I liked it a lot. I've heard good things about Dead City, and it sounds like that's coming back for a second season.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of TV watching time anymore, and really, frankly, if I'm watching TV, I'm watching it with the big guy, and he's not a Walking Dead fan. The zombies are too slow for his taste, so he doesn't understand why the characters are scared because the zombies are so slow. We watched The Last of Us together and loved that. That was really great. Have you guys watched it?
I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
No, I haven't watched it. I've been meaning to.
It's good. It's really worth watching. I'm looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, nice. That's coming out next year, I think, right? Season 2?
Yeah.
All right. So yes. So yes, catch Real Housewives. And, gets my seal. Yeah, of course, it gets my seal of approval. I put it on the podcast.
I'll get
Damn thunderstorms.
So that I can't find the power those things. So
what was that?
I said eventually I'll get the socials up and running soon.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just kind of lame. I don't know where their passwords are, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And again, if anyone needs to contact you, they can always come to, send me the emails or whatever. I'll forward them along.
Which Phil.
That's right. Bug me. Yes, that's right, kids. You can always email us for any of the shows, including Real Housewives. CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, new merchandise with the new logos. Even the old stuff is up there. And again, as per Lilith Hellfire's orders, please rain random money on us through the Cash App link, just because you're nice.
Make it rain.
As Lilith and I said, please, just rain random money on us through the Cash App link, like we are that young girl dancing her way through medical school.
She looks like she was just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, the Patreon, where Lilith and I try to do something different every month. It's uncensored, it's crazy, and again, Lilith is training for a marathon at the end of the year, so I think she's still on medication, but she's not. I believe she's not drinking. She is not partaking in any sexual activity. So yes, you have join the Patreon this year and hear a very sexually frustrated and dangerously sober Lilith Hellfire. So find it all in one place. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. It's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right, and now for a man who's the king of podcasting. He's on like 20 podcasts, Mr. Justin Dow. You can hear him here at least once a month, and that'll be going up as we do more X-Men Classics next year. You can hear him every week on Marvel Tales, talking a different Marvel story with me. I can hear him here once a month with me and Russell, talking Energon Universe, all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff coming from Image Comics. You can find him over on Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks on We Are the Night, the
Batman podcast,
talking Azrael, because yes, kids, Justin will cover everything that will not. So
yes,
and of course he pops his head in every so often on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast. So.
That's right.
But he also cheats on me in podcasts elsewhere. So Justin, where else can we hear you podcast?
You can also find me every month over at Gamma Charge, the strongest Marvel podcast there is, where every month Russell and I discuss the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. And this month we have an interview with writer David Pepose coming out, where we talk with him about his work on the Incredible Hulk Annual and his work on the Savage Avengers series. And we're also joined every month on Predator and Prey, the Yautja podcast by our friend, the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray. We discuss the classic Predator comics from Dark Horse, as well as the new ones coming out from Marvel. And also my solo show, The Lost Library of Legends, where I discuss the forgotten and obscure comic book gems of the past few decades, is still going on. And by the time this episode comes out, I will have hopefully started my 3-part retrospective on a 2002 series from DC called The Power Company.
See, the drop doesn't work now.
Going back to the 90s here, bitch.
I'll have to give you a different one to use for that.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming that's coming at the end of the year because Dianne, for the last 2 years, I've gotten drunken unboxing videos from Justin, and I pulled all these drops of him just like drunk opening. Oh, what's this? What's this? And you just get like drops like.
Gonna be some dicks waving around in here. Oh, that's naughty.
Yes.
Again, I need more drunken videos from you.
It's me, your old pal, the owl.
You'll definitely get one this year, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Dianne, I need drunken Marnell audio.
Yes. Nice.
I'll work on it.
Okay. I only have a few drops of the 2U. I need more.
Sliding down poles. I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't get some good ones from the Stormy review.
You know what? If I should go back and listen to that, I'm sure I can pull some good ones. I mean, yeah, I only have one for you. Of course, I have a few for Marnell.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. I just spend a really inordinate amount of time naked. But I really, really like Hooters. Okay, but the pirate movies are very well done.
Talking about the porn ones.
Okay, but the pirate movies are very well done.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Oh, man, I would say what we're doing next time. Oh, Days of Future Present is what we're doing next time. Yeah. Those annuals, yeah. But yes, thank you for listening. Dianne, thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
For reading comics for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. Very cool.
Better start paying me some royalties, Marvel. I'm making addicts all over the place, Marvel. You need to pay me some. Or at least start mentioning this podcast in all your content. All right, kids, remember, come back next time, and remember, try not to go out and stab your friends. Good night.